Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. Today I'm doing another of my supervillain biographies. This time I'm taking a look at Pyscho-Pirate. Now there are two different men who have gone by the name of Pyscho-Pirate. The first is Charles Halstead. His version of Pyscho-Pirate first appears in All-Star Comics number 23 from December 1944, and this is the first appearance of Pyscho-Pirate, and he was created by Gardner Fox and Joe Gallagher. The second man to be known as Pyscho-Pirate is Roger Hayden, and his version of Pyscho-Pirate first appeared in Showcase number 56 from June 1965, and he was also created by Gardner Fox, but also this time with Murphy Anderson. So the original Pyscho-Pirate from 1944, his backstory was originally he was a linotyper for the Daily Courier, and he became so jealous of his boss's success that he became a criminal mastermind under the name of Pyscho-Pirate. And his plans were based on emotions, so he hoped to ruin his boss that way, and he set up a series of crimes based on emotions, such as hate, greed, and fear. As time passed, Halstead, as the Pyscho-Pirate, became bolder, and he even penned a letter to the newspaper there that he worked at, the Daily Courier, and he challenged the Justice Society to stop a new wave of crimes based on a variety of emotions. So he gave each member of the JSA an emotion and a task to solve. So eventually the Atom finds and defeats all of the henchmen that Pyscho-Pirate has, and in doing so, he discovers the true identity of the Pyscho-Pirate. But Pyscho-Pirate shoots him in order to preserve his secret identity. However, the Atom is only wounded, so he makes it back to the newspaper and tells the boss and the other members of the JSA that Halstead is the Pyscho-Pirate. So he is subsequently sentenced to a long prison term, but he escapes playing on the emotions of a guard. But the JSA hears about it ahead of time and they are able to capture him. So that's the original Pyscho-Pirate. Very cool. Started off right from the beginning having emotion-based crimes. Now, the next version goes by the name of Roger Hayden, and he is jailed, actually. He's a jailed gangster, and he's jailed with the original, the Charles Halstead Pyscho-Pirate. So Halstead's obviously older, and his dying wish is to have his legacy go on. So he tells Hayden of a secret, the existence of the Medusa masks. Now, these golden masks bestow the wearer with the power to project emotions onto others. So Hayden goes and finds these masks, and he merges them into a single faceplate. And that's the most common version of the Pyscho-Pirate that you see, is he has that all red outfit and a gold faceplate. So he has them merged into a single faceplate and uses its powers to become a supervillain. However, he becomes increasingly addicted to absorbing other people's emotions, even though it causes him pain. And this is possibly brought on by a combination of all the masks being in one, but eventually he is imprisoned after a battle with Dr. Fate and Hourman. So later on, he joins the secret society of supervillains, having been recruited by the Ultra Humanite to defeat their mutual foe, Hourman. While he is successful at this thanks to a device Ultra Humanite uses that amplifies his powers, the Justice League and the Justice Society combine and are able to defeat him and his teammates. So this time the villains are deposited in an interdimensional rift known as Limbo. Now, in the Crisis on Infinite Earths story arc, which is where I first read about the Pyscho-Pirate, the Pyscho-Pirate is recruited by the Monitor, who's a good guy, and he has Pyscho-Pirate use his abilities to recruit Killer Frost by making her fall in love with Firestorm. And it's actually a lot funnier than it sounds. Some of the dialogue is really really funny because Firestorm and Killer Frost, if you don't know, in the comics are enemies, so her being in love with him isn't anything he enjoys. It's actually really funny. So anyways, the Monitor gets Psycho-Pirate to recruit the Killer Frost, but then Psycho-Pirate is abducted by the supervillain Anti-Monitor. So in exchange for an entire world to play with, Psycho-Pirate becomes an accomplice to the Anti-Monitor, and he even manipulates the captive Barry Allen Flash, and Psycho-Pirate's powers become briefly enhanced so that he can control 3 remaining alternate Earths. So it's Earth 4, Earth 5, and Earth X, so that the heroes there are provoked into attacking the teams sent to rescue them, although using his powers at this scale causes him to burn out, so he cannot use his powers again afterwards. Although the Anti-Monitor constantly belittles the Psycho-Pirate throughout the story, he keeps him around because his emotion manipulating abilities are so useful, and the Anti-Monitor doesn't want to take time out to find someone else with those powers. So after the resolution of Crisis on Infinite Earths, Psycho-Pirate is one of the very few people who have full memories of the event, but he is driven mad by those memories. So on the very end there, that's what you see, that Psycho-Pirate is shown in the last few panels in a straitjacket as the scene pans out and it shows a full view of Earth from space. So then we move up to 1987, and Psycho-Pirate appears in Outsiders special, and he impersonates a villain called Baron Bedlam in order to gain power in the fictional Eastern European country of Markovia. Psycho-Pirate again shows up later in Grant Morrison's run on Animal Man, and he is imprisoned in Arkham Asylum in that, and he ends up releasing characters destroyed during the crisis, so many of the characters come to realize that they are characters in a comic book. I guess there's a lot of fourth wall breaking in this story, but after an intervention by Animal Man, Psycho-Pirate's seemingly happy fades away into nothing, but that removes him back from the reality and puts him back in limbo. So one of the asylum staff named James Highwater takes on the Medusa's mask without anyone realizing, and he becomes a patient there. So after that, Psycho-Pirate doesn't appear again until 1995, when he becomes part of the Underworld Unleashed crossover event. And like many other villains, Psycho-Pirate sells his soul to the demon Neuron in exchange for more power. The process results in a costume change as well. Hayden now wears a black leather jacket, and his mask morphs into an eye patch, and the metal of the mask has largely replaced one half of his brain, but apparently that doesn't affect him negatively. So Psycho-Pirate goes on to fight the Manhunter in that, and is arrested and sent to jail. After that, Psycho-Pirate appears briefly in the Joker Last Laugh crossover event. So Psycho-Pirate appears in JSA Classified issues 1 through 4, and it is revealed that he and Power Girl are refugees from Earth 2, along with other individuals such as Donna Troy. They were missed in the restructuring of the universe, so Psycho-Pirate hopes to weaken Power Girl mentally so that she can be captured as part of Alexander Luthor Jr.'s plot involving characters from different universes. But Nightwing, Superboy, and Wonder Girl show up and they attack Luthor's base, and they free all the captives, including Power Girl and Black Adam. And Psycho-Pirate confronts them, but Black Adam proceeds to gouge out Psycho-Pirate's eyes and pushes the Medusa mask through his head. So the panels where that takes place are extremely graphic. It shows Black Adam pushing his hand through his head. So I'm not going to show that. I'm showing the panel right before that happens. So if you want to see the full gory picture, you have to look it up on your own. So that is the death of Psycho-Pirate. He's dead at that point. But he does come back. He comes back in Blackest Night. So in the Blackest Night storyline, Psycho-Pirate has been identified as one of the deceased that are entombed below the Hall of Justice. So if you didn't know that, there are all kinds of heroes and villains who have died and are entombed below the Hall of Justice. So one of them was Pyscho-Pirate, and his corpse is revived as a Black Lantern during the event, and he attacks Smallville, actually, using his powers to manipulate the inhabitants and sway Connor Kent into attacking Superman. So Connor attacks Superman and aids the Black Lantern Superman, who is the Superman from Earth 2. However, the effects of the Medusa mask wear off, and Connor is once again able to come to his senses. So Clark and Connor team up and they confront Pyscho-Pirate, and this time they manage to steal the Medusa mask. So Connor puts it on and uses it to inspire hope, will, and compassion, and that ends the riots in Smallville. So Pyscho-Pirate is last seen retreating into a dark alley, and he is followed by Connor, and then Connor uses the Medusa mask, causing the black rings to malfunction, and both Pyscho-Pirate and Superman from Earth 2 to return to inanimate corpses. Alright, so that brings us up to the New 52. Pyscho-Pirate was actually in New 52, so it was a new version of the Pyscho-Pirate because he had been killed off, but as you know, New 52 rebooted the whole universe so they could do whatever they wanted. So in this version, a new Pyscho-Pirate appears, and he still uses the name he used before in the old continuity of Roger Hayden, but the new Pyscho-Pirate appears, and he is in Superboy volume, well, it's in a volume now, but Superboy volume 6, number 23, and he is in subsequent issues too. I think I'm showing issue 24 here. So anyways, he is captured by the Hive Queen, who is a zealous devotee of Brainiac, but he manages to escape that and seeks out the Medusa mask as an artifact he believes would protect him from people with psychic powers. So he spends 4 years hiding, and then he ends up fighting the Hive Queen, and they're fighting for control of the city. So that's him in New 52, and then he's actually been mentioned in Rebirth. Pyscho-Pirate has been mentioned in Rebirth, in Batman Rebirth specifically, and he is being manipulated by Professor Hugo Strange, and Hugo Strange detonates a bomb in Gotham and uses Pyscho-Pirate to manipulate people's emotions. So in other media, aside from comics, Pyscho-Pirate has appeared in Justice League Unlimited, and in this version he makes an appearance as a member of Gorilla Grodd's secret society, and he doesn't really have any lines in that. It's also notable because he isn't using the Medusa mask. And then he also shows up in Batman, the Brave and the Bold, in the episode called The Outsiders, and he's voiced by Armin Shimmerman. So lastly, Pyscho-Pirate appeared as the preliminary antagonist of the special one-shot Young Justice issue comic that was released for Free Comic Book Day. So that's all for now on the Pyscho-Pirate. He's one of my favorite supervillains, partially because he's so unique. You don't really see any other villains, as far as I know, that use emotions and the power of emotions to manipulate people. Alright, well, that's all for now, and as always, thanks for watching, and if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe.
End of line.